When you hear the name O.J. Simpson, what comes to mind? The talented football player with a successful career, the infamous murder trial that shook the nation, or the notorious armed robbery that landed him in jail? O.J. Simpson's story is one that has fascinated and polarized people for decades. Born in San Francisco in 1947, Orenthal James Simpson grew up in a difficult family situation. He fought through hardship and became a standout athlete in high school, ultimately earning a football scholarship to USC. In college, Simpson set records and became a Heisman Trophy winner. This solidified his position as one of the greatest football players of all time. After his college career, Simpson was drafted by the Buffalo Bills. He played there for 9 seasons before being traded to the San Francisco 49ers. Simpson's football career paved the way for a successful career in acting and broadcasting. Despite Simpson's accomplishments, his personal life was plagued with controversy. Simpson's tumultuous relationship with his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, ended in tragedy in 1994 when both Nicole and her friend, Ron Goldman, were brutally murdered. O.J. Simpson was famously acquitted of the crimes in 1995 after a highly publicized trial. The story of O.J. Simpson is significant not only for the events themselves but also for the social and cultural impact it has had. It brought to the forefront issues of race, domestic violence, and media sensationalism. All these factors continue to shape the ways in which we think about celebrities, athletes, and the justice system. The rise of O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson, once a celebrated football player turned actor, became a household name in the 90s after his infamous murder trial. His rise to fame was meteoric, but his fall was just as quick. Let's delve into O.J.'s life, career, and the events that led to his shocking arrest and imprisonment. O.J. Simpson was a bona fide sports legend. His football career started in college where he won the prestigious Heisman Trophy, the football equivalent of an Oscar. His professional career was no less impressive. He was a record-breaking running back for the Buffalo Bills for almost a decade. Simpson's football career was unparalleled, and it was enough to make him a household name. But his success did not stop at the field. His relationship with Nicole Brown Simpson, whom he married in 1985, also garnered public attention. While their relationship was tumultuous, it added to Simpson's larger-than-life persona and made him even more of a tabloid sensation. Simpson's acting and broadcasting career wasn't too shabby either. He was in several films and TV shows and even had his own sports talk show. He was a prominent figure in both the sports and entertainment worlds, making him an incredible force both on and off the field. But alas, this was just the beginning of O.J.'s story. The following events would soon lead to his inevitable fall from grace. The arrest and trial of O.J. Simpson. The arrest and trial of O.J. Simpson was one of the most sensational events in American legal history. It all began on the night of June 12, 1994, when Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman were found murdered outside Nicole's Brentwood home. The investigation quickly focused on O.J. Simpson as a suspect due to their prior relationship and domestic violence reports. The next day, O.J. Simpson led the police on a low-speed car chase in his white Ford Bronco, with millions of people watching the live coverage on TV. Was he trying to escape or was he just a man in distress? The world was watching. The trial of O.J. Simpson was later referred to as the trial of the century as it garnered intense media scrutiny and divided the nation. It was as though everyone had picked a side, friends became enemies, families were torn apart, and it felt like an all-out war. The prosecution argued that O.J. Simpson had motive, opportunity, and DNA evidence linking him to the crime, while Simpson's team, led by famous attorneys Robert Shapiro, Johnny Cochran, and Robert Kardashian, yes, father of the Kardashian sisters, argued that the LAPD had mishandled evidence, tampered with forensic results and that their client was innocent. The trial lasted for 11 months, and millions of dollars were spent on legal fees, court transcripts, and witness testimonies. In the end, O.J. Simpson was acquitted of the murder charges in what has been regarded by many as a miscarriage of justice. However, O.J. Simpson was later found liable for the deaths of Brown, Simpson, and Goldman in a civil trial and was ordered to pay millions of dollars in damages. The trial had a long-lasting impact on American society, with race and the judicial system at the forefront of discussions. The verdict was viewed as a victory for the African American community, while others felt that Simpson was given a free pass due to his celebrity status. The arrest and trial of O.J. Simpson was definitely a time where people felt either for him or against him. But what is really important is the legacy that has remained after all these years. The aftermath. The aftermath of the O.J. Simpson trial was nothing short of chaotic. While some people were happy with his acquittal, others were outraged. The racial divide in the reactions to the trials was evident, with most African Americans feeling that justice had been served while many people of other ethnicities believed that he was guilty. The civil trial that followed Simpson's acquittal was a significant blow. It was evident that many people still believed that he was guilty, and the family of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman wanted justice. In the civil suit, Simpson was found liable for the deaths and was ordered to pay $33.5 million to their families. This result was a stark contrast to what had happened in the criminal trial and left many people with mixed feelings. After the trials, O.J. Simpson's legacy was forever changed. He was no longer known for his football skills, his acting, or his broadcasting career. Instead, he was known for being acquitted in a high-profile murder trial and then found liable in a civil suit. His life became a media circus, with every move scrutinized by the press. He wrote a book detailing what he would have done if he had indeed murdered Brown, Simpson, and Goldman, which ignited more controversy. Simpson's life following his trials has not been easy. After being acquitted, he tried his hand at various ventures, including reality TV and sports memorabilia sales. However, in 2007, he was arrested in Las Vegas for armed robbery and kidnapping. He claimed that he was trying to recover his stolen memorabilia, but most people saw it as a chance for justice to be served for Brown, Simpson, and Goldman. Simpson's fall from grace culminated in a lengthy prison sentence. He was sentenced to 33 years, with a possibility of parole after 9. In 2017, he was granted parole and released from prison. Looking back on Simpson's story, it's hard to ignore the impact it had on society. The trial revealed how divided the country was on race and class lines, and it also showed the power of the media. The story still resonates today, and it's unlikely that we'll ever forget it. As for me, I can't help but wonder what would have happened if the verdicts had been different. Would our society be any different, or would something else have taken its place as the defining story of the decade? Only time will tell. The fall of O.J. Simpson. The fall from grace. We've seen it time and time again, and O.J. Simpson's fall was no exception. It all started with his arrest in Las Vegas for armed robbery and kidnapping. Yes, you read that right. The Juice had gone from being a football superstar to a convicted felon. What a journey. The trial and verdict were just as sensational as his previous case, if not more so. This time, though, there was no way to wiggle out of it. The evidence was too damning, and it seemed like Simpson's luck had finally run out. The verdict was guilty, and the sentence was bleak, 33 years in prison, with a possibility of parole after 9 years. Ouch! To say that O.J. Simpson's imprisonment was a shock to the public would be an understatement. People couldn't believe that the man who once ruled the football field was now stuck behind bars. But hey, actions have consequences, right? It's strange to think that a man who was once so revered could fall so far. Simpson's story is a cautionary tale of sorts. It shows that no matter how high you climb, you can always fall hard. As we'll explore later, Simpson's story had a lasting impact on society. But for now, let's take a moment to reflect on the sheer absurdity of it all. Armed robbery and kidnapping. Really, Juice? Poor life choices, my friend. Impact on society. The O.J. Simpson trial was undoubtedly one of the most polarizing events in American history. The trial exposed a deep racial divide in reactions to the verdict, with many white Americans outraged by O.J. Simpson's acquittal and many black Americans relieved by it. The trial also had a significant impact on the media, with news coverage of the case reaching a fever pitch and the rise of 24-hour cable news stations. Today, O.J. Simpson's story still resonates within American society. The case has become a touchstone for discussions of race, justice, and celebrity. The Simpson trial also paved the way for other high-profile cases that have captivated Americans over the years. The impact of O.J. Simpson's downfall also extended to his family. Following the trial, Simpson's children struggled to live their lives with the burden of the family name. Simpson's relationship with his children has been strained, and their estrangement remains a sad legacy of the Simpson story. In conclusion, while the O.J. Simpson trial may seem like a distant memory, its impact on American society is still being felt today. The case served as a flashpoint for debates about race, justice, and celebrity that continue to shape our society. The trial also serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked fame and the devastating consequences of making the wrong choices in life. To conclude, the legacy of O.J. Simpson's story is a complicated one. It's a story that highlights the intersection of race, celebrity, and the criminal justice system. O.J.'s rise to fame as a football player and later as an actor and broadcaster, only to see it all come crashing down with his arrest and trial for the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, is a tale that has captivated the public for decades. His subsequent acquittal in the criminal trial and conviction in the civil trial, followed by his arrest and imprisonment for armed robbery and kidnapping in Las Vegas, only added to the drama. O.J.'s story has had a profound impact on society and the media, highlighting the racial divide in reactions to the trials and the ways in which high-profile cases are covered. Personally, reflecting on O.J. Simpson's rise and fall, it's hard not to be left with a sense of tragedy. Here was a man who had it all, only to have it slip away in such a public and spectacular fashion. His story serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of fame and the consequences of our actions. In the end, all we can do is hope that lessons can be learned from his story, and that history doesn't repeat itself.
Thank you for watching. Please let us know your thoughts and comment below. And please let us know any topic suggestion that interests you most. Lastly, do not forget to subscribe and share.